response of the microphone for accuracy. What I do is I mark the measurement points before I start. And the reason I do this is that
This can take it up.
you can you can take this away. The reason I do this is that when we start moving the microphone, it's very easy to forget where you started. So if you make yourself a target, so here, we'll make one here. It's not so good that the tape is the same colour as the sofa. Okay, and then the same on this side. So here.
How did you know the distance between the one mark to the other?
Experience.
Experience. So
Be careful this doesn't go through the
doesn't go.
tape. No. Is stop air conditioning.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Can this be switched off?
This one.
Oh,
Perfect.
hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Because the microphone is very sensitive, and you can see that in the other store, at 27 hertz, we have this big peak in the trace, and it's not coming from the loudspeaker, it's the air conditioning blowing on top of the microphone. So here, this will be good. Now, you can notice how careful we're being with the procedure. The more accurate information we can capture, the better the result will be with Dirac running its program. So let's just reduce the output a little bit. Okay. And we want to get the signal to just below the middle of the green. So just below -12 will be a good level. It's going to increase the sensitivity just a little bit. And what we need to do is find the speaker with the lowest level, and that will become our 0 point reference. Now, which speaker would have the lowest output? It's normally the smallest speaker, or the speaker that is furthest away. So it may be the surrounds, I suspect. So, yeah. So the problem here is that's the background noise in the room. Yeah. Let's just reduce the microphone gain a little. All right. So this would be a good level.
This good level.
This we can bring down a little. This one also just a little bit. Perfect. 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 I'm a bit worried that one sounds completely different. It sounds like the tweeter is blown on height number 2 at the back.
The tone is different, you can hear.
Yeah. Let's just check the fronts. See, this isn't loud enough. Alright, so we'll have to increase the output volume. Perfect, perfect. But now we'll have to reduce these just a little. This one is lower because we're between the speaker. Now the subwoofer, we don't adjust here, we adjust at the subwoofer's volume control.
I see.
Okay, so if we could turn the subwoofer down a little bit, and then we'll run the test tone, and I'll tell you to gradually move up.
Alright.
係咪有一隻燒咗？
呢隻燒個高音㗎。
Yeah. Suppose if we are using the active rear channel speakers, then it's going to adjust same like a subwoofer.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So you notice that all levels will be the same. Just very quickly. Just below the middle point. Same again.
呢度有大刀。
We'll make this a little bit clearer.
Just below the -12, right?
Just below, yeah. Okay. And once we change the speaker, we'll be good to
Oh, okay.
good to go. It's the best one. Gives you the broad hot seat.
Yeah. Normally the whole family they sitting on the sofa.
Yeah, not all sat on the chair together.
yeah.
Okay, so this is at the point where we need to be as quiet as possible. Alright. And if possible, move away from the direct line of the speaker.
Don't block the direct line.
Yeah.
即係咪咩？
Yeah, like that. Slightly.
我哋係走晒呢度咪得咯。We all standing here.
Okay. Are almost the same. There, that's the left, that's the right. And because they're equal distance apart and in almost the same position, you'd expect the response to be almost the same. So we're now ready to move on to the next measurement. This is, you see this noise in between the signals? That's the background noise in the room. So that's the one thing that you need to minimize. Okay, so we now need to move the microphone. So the sofa position is saying move to this one. So this one here.
Yes.
Is that a little bit more?
Little bit more there. Yeah.
Perfect, I think. Yeah. And we can start the next measurement.
Same position.
Yeah. Now, if there is a loud noise in the room, like this, you'll see that the reading clips.
Oh yes, the red.
Yeah.
So we can simply hit stop,
Stop. We start again.
start it again. Even though you've only moved to this position, so the balance of the system is changing as you're moving around the sofa quite a lot.
Yes.
So we can now make the next measurement.
Okay.
Okay, please speak one more time.
So one more measurement.
The last one, and you said what?
Yeah, this configuration is the one that takes the longest because we have absolutely every single speaker to measure. The process is quicker if you're running 5 channels and subwoofer or 7 channels and subwoofer.
You mean the last setting point, right?
No, now it's not. the last.
No, we have one more to go. You can see here that this one is being worked on by the computer. This is the one that we should measure next with the red arrow.
Okay.
So we have
When it finishes,
two
it has
more
a
to go.
green light here.
Okay.
yeah.
Finish all measurement, all green.
Yeah, so all captured. We're just waiting for this one to turn green, and that means that all of the processing has been completed on that measurement. That'll just take a few seconds. At this point, it's a good idea to save your measurements, because if you have a power cut or
You start
your-
again.
Yeah.
your Mac crashes or something, then you've got to do the whole thing again. So always make a save at this point. We'll just let it finish the processing and then we'll save the project. And be careful with the name that you give it, because it's the name that will appear on the front of the product
Oh.
when you switch Dirac on and off. Yeah, this is the name that will appear.
Display on the.
Yeah, yeah. So you could call it Radar 850.
FP90. This speaker says FP90.
FP.
FP90
Okay. Nearly there. Okay. So down here, save project, and we will call it. Is it FP90?
Yeah, FP90.
And we'll say measured,
Okay.
because that's all we've done so far. We've measured it.
or FP90 with AVR like 850.
I need to tell the customer. Last week I sold one piece of 850 to the customer. I need to tell him how to do this procedures.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's saved. We have all of our measurements complete. We can now proceed. And that is the in-room response of your left and right channels. That is Dirac's target curve based on the performance of this speaker. Let's take a look at the center channel. This, you can see, is not going so low because they are small satellite loudspeakers. And these are the
VHM with the force. Have a more low frequency.
yeah. So let's see what the sub does. Wow, that's a really good sub response. Really good sub response. Now, the thing to be careful here. I can just grab the pen. This is Dirac's default curve, and can you see it's going to try and make the speaker produce more bass here? Well, that's not really a fantastic thing to do. So what we can do is double click on the line at that point there, and then we can drag. Oh, hello. Okay. Right, we'll try that again. We can click on the line and drag that to there. So we're going to follow the natural response of the speaker.
Yes.
Can you see that there's actually quite a lot of bass coming from this speaker? And if we just run direct flat, it will just remove all of this bass response. And you might be thinking, well, that makes the speaker sound really light with no bass when you switch it off.
Yes.
So what we can do is just simply try and engineer a little bit of this back in again. Only a few dBs. Okay.
Around 3 point something.
Yeah.
0. Got it.
And here is the natural characteristic of the loudspeaker rolls off down here. So this is quite a warm sounding speaker.
Yeah.
I would think when you listen to this, it sounds very warm and nice.
Very
And
good for vocal.
yeah. Let's look at the center channel. Again, at this end, we can see the natural falling response.
Pull down.
We'll take that to there. Up here, this will be the engineered natural response of the speaker. And again, there seems to be quite a lot of low frequency energy. And I suspect that this was intentional. This was designed to give this very nice, warm, really, you know.
So that's why we pulls up to 2
Some
dB.
dB.
It's only a couple of
around 3
dBs. It's nothing.
而家呢只 warm 衫係乜嘢嚟嘅？後
Center.
center 哦，即係 focus 嘅
focus.
Okay, so this one. I think the natural response is there, and we'll let Dirac correct all of this on the surround. And this one here, we'll probably cross over at 80 Hertz anyway,
Oh,
and you can see here
this is around 80.
that's about 70, so that's not a problem anyway, because we won't be putting this much energy here. Subwoofer, this is one of the best subwoofer responses I've ever seen. Really is. That is incredible. So, can you see this dip here? This will be asking a lot of the amplifier inside the sub to fill this, and we'll be asking the cone to move very much. So what we can do to make life a little easier is this. We'll just put that little drop back in, and we'll follow the natural response of the subwoofer. So it's running flat to 90, 100 Hertz, and if we set our crossover at 80,
Yes.
it means that all of the channels will actually align and match up. But that is a very, very good response. So we've designed our curves, the subwoofer, and at this point
To me.
we'll hit optimize, and this is when Dirac will be talking to Dirac offices in Sweden to work out how to fix what we've asked for. Okay. So she's taking all of your data and sending it over to Sweden, optimizing mixed phase filters. These are the filters I was talking about. So it's phase through frequency on each channel.
Each
So it gives you
channel
that
and
incredible focus when the entire speaker is in
each
phase.
unit also.
Yeah. And it's doing this for every single channel.
Hey, Andy, before you moving adjust the curve, just like I'm using a P Photoshop, edit the photo using the tools called
It's too
curve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, edit the photo.
Ah,
The Photoshop.
very clever.
Oh.
Very clever. So this takes a few seconds because it really is moving so much data to make this happen that our response before.
Yep.
This is the target curve we decided based upon the performance of this loudspeaker, and this is what Dirac has achieved.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
So it's almost managed to follow the target curve we requested perfectly.
High frequency.
Maybe this one is having too much.
High frequency 度質個兩個 dB。
Again, this is the surrounds. It's
Oh, perfect. This
subwoofer. So yeah, the perfect subwoofer.
Yeah.
And let's see what it could do here. Yeah, there's a really wild drop there that it's decided, you know, I can't fix that. But this is the impulse response before. Can you see this step here? This whoop,
Yes.
whoop? You notice on the corrected version, it's not there. It's gone. It's now. So that is the improvement in speed of the impulse response of the room, and that's the thing that will be uncovering more information within the listening room. And impulse response on the center channel also improved. Side channels, yeah, perfect. It's quite that's a good result.
It is little we save it. Or?
Yep. So let's save again, but this time we'll call it optimized. So optimized.
So you can go into A/B comparing.
Yeah.
Save the setting.
Yeah. So
Before you optimize, saving the
Yeah, before we did save
in the computer or to the AVR?
in the computer.
No, all the work at the moment is still being done on the computer.
Only.
So we've
Okay.
saved your file to the computer, so you could always go back to it.
Okay.
We could go back. We could load project down here, and then open our AVR Dirac program at a later date, and we could change the curve again if we didn't like a certain aspect of it. So now we can proceed. There's our FP90 AVR 850 optimized project just there, and we simply drag it into there. And it's at this point that all of our programming is being sent to the AVR 850.
WiFi
但佢冇顯示喎。
呢個 WiFi
WiFi 入貓頭入 band 線入翻個呢邊。
嗰度冇顯示睇呢度會
即係嗰個顯示唔到喎，睇呢個冇用㗎。
一陣間可以睇
睇
翻
到。嘛。
一陣間佢
Again, this will take a little while because we're sending so much information
係啊，呢度
into
睇
the
到。
DSP of the AVR to make all of this correct.
This takes a time to load.
Yeah,
Loading to-
yeah. Again, the more speakers that you're calibrating, the longer it takes because the more information you're sending over.
This
So-
calibration is already.
See the point in doing this. You know, you can switch here. You could play music and switch Dirac on and off, and this would be the volume control for the system. But I never use this. I just exit. We've saved everything we need to save, and if we exit, the AVR becomes just a normal AVR, and we can switch Dirac on and off at the amplifier. So now the AVR will look completely normal. Doesn't say calibration or anything. So you notice here that by default, Dirac is switched off for every input,
Oh yes.
and you can switch it on and off
By the remote.
for each input independently. So if you had a record player connected, you might not want to use Dirac.
Oh yes.
So you could switch it off for one input and on for another. The other thing I'd like to show you is that if we look at the non-Dirac settings, Dirac doesn't load these in. So these would be 0, 0, 0, but somebody has already set these.
Yes.
Okay. Also speaker distances. These would be 0, 0, 0. Dirac doesn't affect this at all. It doesn't do any work here. All right. It's only the Dirac side that Dirac will load in. So we can see here, and the delays are set in milliseconds. We also have our speaker levels set.
So you mean
其實都幾大分別喎，個參差個參差。
so you mean when we set up the AVR, the bass is all back to 0 every channel.
Would be all 0
Okay.
on the page that isn't Dirac. So there's two halves, yeah? There's two level settings and two distance settings. One is for Dirac or EQ, the other is for off. And it's this one that Dirac doesn't set. You have to set this manually.
This is the we set it before.
即係十隻
Yeah,
嗰啲
it's
係
only there because it was
Yeah.
set before.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Normally it should be 0.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Sounds like noise, yeah? That sounds like rain.
Yeah. This have a distance.
Yeah. Yeah, the speakers disappear. And we could do that.
Where are you, Max?
Here they come again, worming their way into the black matter of my brain.
Help us, Max. Help us.
I tell myself, they cannot touch me. They are long dead, haunted by those I could not protect. So I exist in this wasteland.
The other thing we have here is independent crossover for Dolby speaker.
Yes.
Now Dolby speaker is these.
On
Yeah.
the ceiling.
These are not big speakers, and we can see from our measurements that they don't do anything below about 120
Dolby
hertz.
speaker is mean the Atmos.
It means
speaker,
Atmos, yeah.
not including the surround.
No, they are completely separate. So our 80 hertz crossover point is 80 hertz for front, center, surround, and 120 for height. Because these would normally be the smaller speaker,
Yes.
and there is no point in giving it lots and lots of energy. That will just create distortion. So,
And like here.
So 120 hertz would be standard. 120 hertz.
yeah, but I made that decision based on what I could see on Dirac for the response. We might even think about going even higher than this, but it's really about making the system happy, the speaker happy. If the speaker's happy,
Between 80 to 120
Yeah.
depends.
yeah. But you can see on Dirac where is it getting to before it starts falling down. Okay. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
The only reason I did this is could you see where the frequency response became crazy, like that? That was just above 80 hertz. So by setting the crossover point to 80 hertz, I've taken all of the crazy stuff away from the front loudspeaker. Although this is a big speaker, its response is a little bit crazy at that low frequency. But we could see that the sub was perfect.
Yes.
So why not take this away from here
Oh, I see.
and give it to the sub,
Yeah.
because the sub was dealing with it perfectly.
Understand.
And you make these decisions based on what Dirac has just shown you scientifically in room.